I mentioned we'll get down to the floor of the stock exchange, and Nicole Petalides, she's live there for us now. Nicole, no one there has ever seen a point drop like we just witnessed. How'd they handle it?
You're right. Biggest point drop in history, Shep. I got to tell you, it takes your breath away when you're going down. I sit here every day for my entire life. I've watched it 500, 800. When it crosses that 1,000-point mark, everybody go, whoa. Then we got down to nearly 1,600 points. That's a big move. So I walk around the floor and say, what's going on? What do you really think is happening here? Because last week it was nearly 1,100-point drop for the week, and the traders think a couple of things. First of all, one trader said to me, Nicole, it's not 3 days of selling that we're focusing on. How about we've been up for 400 days since the election? So trying to keep it into perspective. They're waiting for something called capitulation. There's really this feeling of like where it takes your breath away, somewhat of a panic, so that you can really decipher where the value is, because at some point everything becomes overbought and overvalued. The third thing that is also happening is sell programs. There's certain levels, Shep, that they say, listen, when it gets to this level, sell when it hits that support level. So now I actually had people who were looking for areas to buy. Yeah, buying when it was down 1,600 points. I had a trader who told me this morning, he said, I'm waiting to buy some of these energy stocks. I already bought some Exxon. I want to get in on Apache and Schlumberger. And he did. He was shaking, but he bought it and had no idea, because they say it's tough to catch a falling knife, but he got in. So that's why we're in half now from the lower levels. But the big picture here is that they're trying to find value and settle this thing down. But it's certainly not panicked or crazy or anything like that. But you have to know your risk tolerance when you're in a market and have your money invested.
I don't know if you know where the VIX is now. The business desk gave us some imperfect numbers on the VIX a little while ago, I tell you, and I'm sorry that happened.
It was up,
but it's up.
Yeah, I have it right here. It was up over 100% a short time ago. It was up 96% about 4 minutes ago, and at a level of 35 at one point, to the highest levels in 2 years since February of 2016. So the VIX is really a gauge, a fear gauge, to give you a glimpse into what people are thinking and how they're feeling going forward. But there's a lot of great things that are real disconnect, Shep. You can't have corporate earnings doing better, doubling, doing great during earnings season, which is exactly what we're seeing, at a market that's selling off. So it's maybe just trying to find some sort of balance. We have a lot of great things happening in our country. We have wage growth, you have corporate earnings improving, you have a corporate tax plan, a tax plan that is beneficial to corporations and to individuals. So the groundwork is being laid. However, we've run up really far, really fast. So a little bit of a breather here. And you can see we've already paired the losses. I will give you another warning, and that is, one trader said to me, he goes, Nicole, we can go back down and test those levels again. So don't be surprised if you see it. You just need to take a breath and think about what you want for the long term. And if you really have a short-term horizon, then you really probably shouldn't be in equities in the first place.
Wrong spot if you're short-term. Thank you, Petalides. We'll get back to you in a minute. Hopefully things have moderated for the day. If you're watching such things, circuit breakers, which were installed after previous market collapses, real collapses, circuit breakers don't kick in until 7%. That means the overall market, the industrial average of those 30, if it gets down more than 7% on one day, a circuit breaker can kick in, and they'll try to slow it down with the computers that messed it up in the first place. We're not anywhere near that now. It's less than 3%.